From Bolero Kenner, Crescent City Sports is proud to bring you high school bowling. This afternoon, some of the top teams in the state converge in one location as we feature coverage of multiple matches between schools from the New Orleans and Baton Rouge regions. 3 matches that we're focusing on today. We'll keep you posted on all participants to be certain. A pleasant good afternoon to you. Ken Trahan joined by Lenny Van Gilder from Kenner as we have this annual event between New Orleans area schools and Baton Rouge area schools to bring you here from the bowling perspective. And of course, we'll be able to float around and show you all kinds of action today from 3 matches in particular, whip around coverage, so stay tuned for that as we keep you posted. And the 3 matches we'll be focusing on here today include East Ascension against Archbishop Rummel, Dutchtown against Brother Martin, and Catholic of Baton Rouge against Holy Cross. Lenny, good to have you with us, and obviously this is fun every year.
We enjoy doing this. We've done this for a decade now, covering high school bowling, and this format has kind of evolved here over the last 3 to 4 years, and it's my favorite day of the regular season because it does a lot of things. By nature, bowling is a sport that is conducted weekday afternoons and really doesn't allow for a lot of travel. But 1, maybe 2 days a year, you see some of these crossover opportunities when regions come to other regions to bowl, and that's what we're seeing today. Last year we did it in Gonzales. This year, here in Kenner. 2 years ago we were here in Kenner as well. And you get some of the best facing off, and it matters from a lot of perspectives. I mean, bowling is a sport now that features power rankings. So the opportunity to go get wins from outside of your region, that not only helps the team that wins, but it can help their opponents as well. So that's one of the things. We'll get into some of those storylines as well as the afternoon goes along.
Well, there's a few storylines here, not the least of which is youth being served. One match with Archbishop Rummel and East Ascension. There are no seniors in the lineup for either team, which is remarkable, which tells you about those two particular programs and how good they're going to be by next year. If not this year, they're both good already. And the same thing is true of Catholic, another team that doesn't have a senior in its starting lineup. So youth is served. That's one angle. The second angle would be, of course, Brother Martin, a 3-time defending state champion. They've won 5 of the last 6 bowling here today. And certainly among the favorites, if not the favorite, in Division I this year. They're going to have steep competition where that is concerned. We should mention, too, that there are 2 teams. One is participating today, Archbishop Shaw, who in Division II looks like the chalk. They're really good, just an outstanding team. And Jesuit in Division I, who's not bowling today, who is another excellent team. And the final storyline, I think, has to surround Preston West and what he's been able to do. He's a senior now at Dutchtown, and we saw him last year and just how good he is. He's just putting on a show. I mean, when you talk about averaging nearly 240, that's absurd.
Right, and what's interesting, and we'll get into some numbers and things like that, but doing the math leading into this broadcast, right now, we're coming up on the midway part of the season, with some schools have passed it, some schools haven't gotten there yet. Last year, for instance, we had 17 bowlers in Louisiana average 200. This year, there are 35 bowlers averaging 200 right now, and that's a big number. And what's interesting is Preston West hasn't bowled a match yet. He did not bowl in Dutchtown's first 3 matches this year. He's not one of those 35 yet because he hasn't bowled a game. So that's how much this sport has improved. As you see there, what's on tap here this afternoon, and you see it's all Baton Rouge region against New Orleans region, and it'll be interesting to follow and just see who prevails. You've got some well-balanced matches. The 3 matches within our camera views here should all be very competitive matches against teams who have been there before at different times. You mentioned Brother Martin recently, a powerful team. Dutchtown, with Preston West at the bottom of their lineup, certainly is always strong. Rummel was the best team in the state in the early part of the last decade, trying to get back there and showing signs that maybe they will. East Ascension was a team that was undefeated a year ago. Catholic has been to finals. Holy Cross made a great run to the quarterfinals as a 25 seed back in 2019. They haven't been to the playoffs since, and that's a great story what's going on there in terms of how quickly they have kind of turned around that program.
Holy Cross is a senior-laden program, and they already have a huge win over Brother Martin in a match play situation this season, so very impressive there. You look at the respective averages and you get some sort of perspective on the matches. We should mention the ones that we're not focusing cameras on today are good matches as well. We can't have cameras on all, but Santa Ma, John Ehret, Denham Springs and Destrehan, as mentioned, Archbishop Shaw, and how good the Eagles are taking on St. Michael the Archangel, and Central bowling against St. Augustine. Looking at some of the numbers as I was studying it a little while ago, if you look at respective averages and comparable scenarios, Brother Martin would seem to have the deepest with regard to averages because you have the low pit and the high pit. The low pit is your lowest average bowlers, and the high pit would be your highest average bowlers. So 1 plays 1, 2 plays 2, 3 plays 3, 4 versus 4, 5 versus 5, and 6 versus 6, with 6 being the best average bowler on each team. Brother Martin's top 6 guys, their lowest average is 195, so they have the most depth, at least from an average perspective, heading into play here today.
And what's interesting in bowling, unlike other sports, with it where you put a lineup together, it's opening day of high school baseball season. Let's take that for an example. Jeff Lupo, the Brother Martin baseball coach, can set a lineup any way he wants. Bruce Himbert, the Brother Martin bowling coach, can pick the 6 bowlers he wants to put in there, but he's got to put them in that order. You can't manipulate your lineup trying to create certain matchups based on averages. Whatever the average is, that's how you've got to line up. You see there's 27 possible points in the match. The magic number to get to is 14. That's what it takes to win a match. And how it all unveils there, you see it. It's the 18 points for the individual matches in each game. 2 points per game is team total pins, and then 3 points for what we sometimes call super total or total pins for the entire match. That is how you get to 27 points, and it takes 14 to win. There's a lot of ways to get it done. We've seen it done over the years in a lot of different ways in tight competitive matches of how you end up winning it. Remember last year when Brother Martin had to make a great escape in the quarterfinals, they were down 12-4 going into the final game against Denham Springs, and there was only one way to do it then. They had to win at least 5 of the 6 individual matches and win total pins and then overtake super total, and they did exactly that to win the match. There's a lot of ways to get there, and we'll get into that certainly as the match goes along.
This particular bowling center typically is a pretty good scoring bowling center. There are variables here in terms of being able to make shots from both the right side and the left side. Certainly from the left side, there's more of an outside opportunity here to score. From the right side, it's more really kind of intermediate. You can play inside, but you can play intermediate here and have success with the lane conditions and the oil pattern that you see. So typically speaking, right-handers are going to be anywhere in terms of at the arrows around in the 7th to 12th boards here, and the left-handers can play a little bit further out on the lanes, a typical condition of this particular bowling center. And of course I say left and right, but the fact of the matter is we have a lot of two-handed bowlers. So
yeah, we do.
Now they're right-handed and they're left-handed in terms of their underhand stroke, but they are two-handers. But certainly that's applicable in terms of the line that they will play as we watch here today at what is a pretty good scoring center historically.
Very much so, and it's been even more the case recently. The New Orleans area high schools bowled, at least on the East Bank, bowl their club matches here in the fall, and it can be any number of teams that you put in. It's an opportunity for the varsity bowlers to get work and the non-varsity bowlers to get a chance to interact as well. There were 4 300 games bowled in club this fall here at Bolero County.
Well, we talked about Holy Cross and their monumental win over Brother Martin earlier this season. Otherwise, really probably the most improved team that we see here is Archbishop Rummel.
Absolutely,
They've got a much deeper team than they've had in recent years. Now, they did make it to a championship match not too long ago.
That year we were talking about, 2019, it could have very well been a Rummel Holy Cross semifinal. Holy Cross very nearly took out the number 1 seed Central, and then Rummel took out Central in the semifinals as a 21 seed and got to the finals against Brother Martin that year. And that was a great run by a very senior-laden Rummel team that year.
Well, Rummel won in 2012 and 2013. Since then,
it's been all Brother Martin.
You've only had 1 year where Brother Martin didn't win.
Well, two actually.
2 years,
yeah, Vanderbilt Catholic won in 14 and 17.
I meant that, since 15. Yes, that's right.
So Brother Martin has won in 15, 16, 18, 19. There was no champion in 20, and in 21, 22, 23. So
Vanderbilt Catholic otherwise was a victory for those two particular times that the others did not win it. So we're just about set to go here from Bolero in Kenner. And again, it'll be on the left side of the lanes in the matches. It's the lower average bowlers. On the right side, the higher average bowlers. And they're underway. And again, you'll see a little bit of everything. Two-handers from either side, left-handers, right-handers. A little bit of everything. And it's all about filling boxes here. And you'll see a lot of varied different lines being played. You'll see a strike from Brother Martin's number one. That's bowler.
Tyler Nunez, the freshman, who is two-hander. He's the younger brother of Jack, who was part of the starting lineup a year ago.
So he gets Brother Martin off on the right side. We're going to be watching all of these matches to be sure.
Absolutely.
Another one of the really good young bowlers to watch here is the youngster for Archbishop Rummel, who bows in the sixth spot, Anthony Linker, who's a really good-looking bowler. Having watched him, and speaking of Rummel, you get a strike from their four bowler. That's Jacob Beatty right off the bat, so a good start for the Raiders. Both their number one and number four bowlers have struck to start.
Yeah, Rummel's right side is sophomore, freshman. That gives you an idea what things the future looks like there. And they have no seniors, like you mentioned. That's an interesting match. No seniors and only 3 one-handed bowlers in the entire match. So two teams that look a lot alike.
Catholic High here today. They bowled for a championship recently as well.
That was an unbelievable match 2 years ago that we witnessed. We talk about comebacks. You know, Brother Martin was about 150 pins down, I think it was, in the 6th frame of the last game and came back and won it.
And Brother Martin with a strike from Van Gilder. And Jacob strange leave on 47. What an unusual leave you're going to see here.
3-4-6.
Oh, my goodness.
Over on lane 47. You see it in your
That's East Ascension's 5th bowler, Chapman, Luke Chapman. He leaves that. And we get a strike from Brother Martin's 6th bowler. Their anchor bowler here is Bo Buffkin.
Bo has been outstanding early on this year. And
now we get our first look at Preston West.
Yeah, you see Preston West.
He's it in Louisiana. This kid is terrific. So here's West, two-hander, left hand strong, and he's already punched the first one through. He's long, he's lean, he gets great extension, obviously terrific roll, and he's very accurate. And by the way, he seems to be a very pleasant young man.
Yeah, he is. And let me tell you, we had the pleasure last year, Todd Bourgeois, the Jesuit coach, and I, broadcasting the first ever final round of the singles championships. And it was, we'll get into that story a little bit more, but Preston West against Jonathan Arena. I mean, look, you and I have watched professional tournaments, amateur. We've seen it all, right? That was as good a match at any level as I've ever seen. With the pressure on, they just continue to throw strike after strike after strike. It was amazing.
Rummel getting strikes from its 3, 4, 5, and 6 bowlers to start its match against East Ascension. And we check out Holy Cross and Catholic as we speak. Catholic with a couple of strikes on the low pair in the first frame. Holy Cross in the 1 spot has a double already, and I believe that's Lesh.
It might be. I believe that's Vincent Guidry, actually.
Guidry,
going to bowl 1. Yeah, they made some adjustments here.
Gotcha. And a double here for Van Gilder. For Brother Martin. And a double for Beatty for Rummel in their particular match. Again, trying to keep you posted on all 3 matches. You get the wide shot of what's happening here. And another strike. So Rummel's got the first 5 on the high pair starting their match. Well done. That's Blake Kerr.
Sophomore. He was number 6 a year ago. Now, Linker was an 8th grader, wasn't eligible to bowl.
Well, we got a chance.
He could have been the guy there. So there's
a chance to watch Linker here, and he's got probably a smoother release as I've seen.
Yeah, he's solid.
I mean, you don't even hear the ball when it hits the lane. And he's just doubled. So Rommel's got 3 doubles on its high pair to start. I know you're very high on their team and their chances moving forward.
Absolutely. I've been very impressed. Obviously I had a chance to see a lot of these young men bowl as juniors coming up.
And off to a very good start. Of course, Preston West watching him as well. He's off to a double here. No surprise, and we'll certainly have to watch him very closely. Triple for Van Gilder and a triple for Beatty for Rommel. So Rommel's now 7 for 7 on the high pair.
Yeah, it's a great start.
Not bad. Good start here for Dutchtown on the high pair. They've got 4 strikes out of 6 frames thus far.
And to give you an idea, like high scores, okay, we have seen them over the years, particularly here. There have been 3 matches or 3 team scores in the history of Louisiana high school bowling over 4,000. And 30, if you think of 200 average, that would be 3,600. So 4,000 is an average of over 220 for your entire lineup. All 3 of them have happened in this house.
Tripped the 4-pin, nicely done by Torres for Dutchtown. He gets himself a double in the process. And Kerr leaves a 10-pin for Rommel, so there goes the strike scheme for Rommel ends after 7 in a row to start on their high pair.
Get a look at Preston West right here.
Trying to make it 3 straight. And that's what it's going to be for him. A little bit fast that time.
Yep.
A little bit of speed, and the ball was a little bit in the oil. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be all about carry for him. That's basically what we're talking about.
And this is the other thing that has been kind of the thing that Preston has to watch, making the 7-pin here.
And we'll watch Linker now as he goes for his 3rd in a row on lane 48. Wide shot, and he leaves a 10-pin.
They got it. Came around it. See, Preston has gone to a backup ball now to shoot the 7-pin.
And that's not a bad idea. If you can do it, it's going to give you a definitive advantage angle-wise. Yeah. But that's so difficult to do. Try it sometime. I did try it one time. It was a waste.
When we say backup ball for the novice out there, if you're left-handed, your ball is typically going to move from left to right. If you're right-handed, your ball is typically going to move from right to left. If you're throwing a backup ball, you're doing just the opposite of that. He's a left-handed, making it move right to left.
East Ascension's doubled at 5 and 6. Luke Chapman and Royce Wheat with doubles for the Spartans at 5 and 6 to put them in a better position on their high pair of lanes against Rommel. They're throwing some strikes now in that particular match.
That's going to be a high-scoring match, I have a feeling.
And Rommel's number 4 bowler, I think, has just thrown a 4-bagger. He has, as he ripped the rack there. So that's Beatty, correct? Yeah, yes. So Beatty has 4 in a row to start for Rommel. And anytime there's any streak of 5 or more, we're going to focus in on that.
We'll lock in, no doubt.
Here's another 10-pin. So it's often about carry here, but that's bowling, period. And there's a triple for the number 5 bowler for East Ascension. Well delivered there by Luke Chapman. Puts himself and his team in a good position with that shot. Another solid 10-pin for Kerr for Rommel. It's 2 in a row for him. And a beautiful shot here. A strike for Dutchtown in the 3 spot by Evan Navarro. Filling boxes nicely.
It's Torres at number 5.
And a missed 10-pin by Kerr. So there's a first open for Rommel on the high pit. And that means something because East Ascension's ripped off 7 straight strikes against Rommel now. You mentioned that might be a high-score match. It certainly looks that way on that pit. Open frame here. And we start to get focused in after the 5th frame on these matches and in terms of the margins and such.
Start looking around here and see exactly.
And we check out Holy Cross gets a trip and a strike in the 1 spot. That's, you said that's Guidry bowling in the 1 spot for Holy Cross, right?
Yes.
Vincent Guidry.
take a...
Oh, Buffkin strikes here, so Buffkin now takes a slight lead over Preston West, who's now left back-to-back 7 pins. Again, it's all about carry.
2-pin lead at this point for Buffkin. Just got to...
For historical purposes, 51 and 52 was the finals pair for the PBA event here.
There you go.
That took place, and Kenner, I would know a little bit about that.
Once upon a time, yeah. With 1990 and 1991, I believe, or 89 and 90?
Yeah, having run marketing and sales then, that was a while back, to say the least.
Yeah.
Here's Beatty going for 5. He pulled that shot.
Almost got away with it. Left the 10-pin.
So that ends that streak. There's a nice pitch, flush shot in the 4 spot for Dutchtown. That's Serla, Ian Serla, great job. And he's matched on the other side by Brother Martin's 4 bowler, and that would be Vollenweider.
Sam's made another big. You talk about Bo Buffkin and a big jump he made. So is Sam. You know, both of those young men were in the mid-170s a year ago, bowling on the left side as starters, and they've jumped up over 200.
So we'll zone in after the 5th frame on the competitiveness of these matches. Holy Cross and their low pit is ahead of Catholic for sure at this point. High pit.
Pretty competitive right now.
Side edge to Catholic there early on in that particular match. And we have no potential perfect games going right now, but you got a 4-bagger and the 5 spot for East Ascension right now as they're riding the crest.
That's Luke Chapman, the junior, yeah. Two-handed left-hander, that's different. There's West.
And another
third straight
3 in a row.
Yeah, that one came in behind the head pin.
Either way, it starts to get a little bit mental at some point when you're leaving them in different fashion. Speaking of 10 pins, there's one for Buffkin. So a lot of good shots, and we've seen a lot of corner pins standing here.
Do you carry? That becomes
all around.
Well, we have a moment before we get to the halfway mark. Ken, today's coverage on Crescent City Sports brought to you by Visit Kenner. From the river to the lake, Kenner has it all. Hotels, restaurants, the Treasure Chest Casino, Rivertown Historic District, and the Pontchartrain Convention Center. Go to visitkenner.us for more information. A couple of events coming up. Do you want to make note of? The Black Heritage Festival this Sunday at Rivertown in Heritage Park, and the Kenner Italian Fest March 1st through 3rd in Rivertown. So your home, my home, our home for this afternoon. Kenner, our thanks for their support.
Very
of
appreciative.
Crescent City Sports. Carolyn Barrett does a great job.
There's a 9-pin. You don't see that much. A shaking 9-pin of that. A really good shot by Vollenweider. Doesn't carry. It's one thing to leave corner pins. It's another thing when you leave 9s and 8s. Those can be ultimately frustrating. And there's a triple delivered by the number 2 bowler for Dutchtown, and that's Corey Anderson. And we'll try to get some totals for you and get you caught up on who's winning what right now. East Ascension has a slight lead on Rummel right now in the 5th frame of their match.
Rummel up at 1 and 2. East Ascension up at 3. Pretty even at 4, it looks like.
Total pins to East Ascension slightly right now in that match. And let's see here. So we catch up on all 3 now. Brother Martin has a slight lead right now, total pins wise on Dutchtown. And Holy Cross has right now a pretty solid lead on Catholic in its match. Probably the biggest margin of the 3 right now. Tigers up really about 80 to 100 pins, total pins right now. But of course each match matters. You get a point for winning the match, as we detailed earlier.
Now let's kind of whip around here. Let's check in on each one here and kind of update you on the scores as we go around. Let's start to our left with East Ascension Rummel. We started there. And
right now, East Ascension has a 4-bagger in the 4 spot, throwing a lot of strikes. That's Anthony Audemont.
It's on the right-hand pair as you view it. Beatty with a 4-6-7 split. Goes 8 out, loses a couple of pins at count right there. So
that changes that match.
Yeah, that makes it a 1-pin lead for East Ascension.
Correct.
At number 4 right now.
That's a big flip of a match.
Right.
One frame.
But you got a chance for
Preston West splits and opens. So again, it's a different house, and there are adjustments to be made,
right.
And comfortability level.
And look, they are not bowling on fresh lane conditions either. There was a league in here, a senior league that bowled this afternoon. So this is not fresh conditions. So everything's going to transition, if you will, a little bit differently. You got to be prepared to handle that. So as we look at the match between Brother Martin and Dutchtown, Brother Martin leading at 1, at 2, at 3, at 4, at 5, and at 6. They've got right now.
All
match
6
ended
matches.
now, they'd have them all. Now it's not not a big total pins difference. It's 40 pins on the left pair. It is 30 pins on the right pair. So it's not a big margin at this point, but they have a slight edge in every match. And then as you check in on the Catholic Holy Cross match, Holy Cross with the lead at 1. Mm-hmm. It's tightened up a little bit at 2. Also at 3, fairly tight at this point.
Right now, Holy Cross's high pair is struggling.
Yeah, Catholic with the lead at 4, with the lead at 5, and with the lead at 6.
Right, Holy Cross's high pit is struggling.
So total pins leaning the way of Holy Cross at this point, but the match is fairly even. And again, you get you look at it, you get 1 pin for every, or 1 point for every individual match you win, and 2 for team total pins. Another.
That's 4-7 pins
yeah,
for West.
4-7 pins. He left a 3-7 on the previous shot. So he's working at a 194 pace right now. Buffkin with a 14-pin lead in the match at 6.
There's another big swing in a match here. East Ascension's number 4 bowler on a 4-bagger just threw a gutter ball. But his opponent just threw a big washout, so that will probably keep East Ascension in the lead at that particular match.
Shaw's number 2 bowler had the front 7 and just missed. So at number 2, you're doing that. That just gives you an idea of the depth of Shaw's lineup.
They're that good. And a triple for Catholic in the 2 spot, so the Bears getting some damage done here. And Carson Johnson Harris with a 3-bagger. Catholic's now thrown 6 strikes in a row on the low pair, so the Bears coming on strong. And Buffkin just really gave up that frame badly, and now West takes the lead on him as a result. Neither one of them bowled particularly well.
Both in the 190s at the moment.
And probably the tightest match right now is East Ascension Rummel.
Mm-hmm. They are into the 7th, 8th frame here.
Yeah,
match 7th frame on the left pair, 8th frame on the right pair. The Dutchtown Brother Martin match has gotten into the 9th frame on the left pair. They're a little bit further behind in the Catholic Holy Cross match. Dutchtown has actually rallied to take the lead here at both 5 and 6 in this match. So we tell you, when it was tight, we tell you one little swing can change things certainly. We've got a little bit of a delay on the left-hand pair.
So looking at the Rummel East Ascension match, Rummel with very slight lead at 1, a slight lead at 2. East Ascension is up at 3. 4, a tight match. Rummel with a slight lead. 5, a slight lead to East Ascension, and 6, a slight lead for Rummel. So that's right now 4-2 Rummel, but they're all but 1 are tight matches. That could go either way in that particular match. Dutchtown, as you mentioned, taking a lead at 5-2. A triple for Torres, really bowling well. Let's see if West can finally carry. He's 4 7-pins after starting off with a double. Looks to be deeper on the lane, and he tripped to 6.
Yeah, went a little high, but
he went deeper and tried a different angle, and he got a trip out there. Buffkin tries to counter, and he's wide.
Left it wide.
Now we watch Beatty in the 9th frame, and a key shot. That's a close match. And he's high, and he splits, and that's huge. His opponent had just opened, and he could have put that match away and did not. So
now he's got to capitalize here. At least get the 1. You're going to go into the 10th frame with a lead of less than 10, but you still have the lead.
Mark there would have pretty much put that away. Instead, he'll have a single-digit lead going to the 10th, where it's anybody's match. Holy Cross leading at 1. Catholic coming on at 2, pretty strong. 3's close. So low pit is pretty competitive there between Holy Cross and Catholic. Holy Cross was struggling on the high pair previously, bowling better now. That match is tight.
Let's check in over there, because there's an interesting story here. Holy Cross stepping up now on the right side there. That's Alec Lanning. You and I both know his dad, Bucky. He just started bowling this summer. Okay, he's a right-hander by trade. His right hand was hurt, so he took up bowling left-handed, two-handed.
Wow.
And he's a 200 average bowler.
Well, Kerr just struck to take a 1-pin lead going to the 10th frame in the match with Rummel and East Ascension.
See Lanning there.
That's a great story for Bucky's son. I know Bucky very well. Good man. Stone 8-pin. You hate seeing that.
Yeah.
For anybody. Again, those 8s and 9s are hard.
Yeah. And Nunez leaving an 8, Buffkin leaving a 9 for Brother Martin.
Linker for a double. Got it. So Linker's in control of his match. Rummel's up slightly, I mean very slightly in 2 matches.
You see that the right-hand pair here is getting to the 10th frame.
And that's a close match.
And you got it close. Rummel's up 8 at number 4. They're up 1 at number 5. And they are up 25 at number 6. That's pretty, the one match that's comfortable is 6. But 4 and 5 here could get decided as we speak.
Rummel triples at number 1. That's McSpadden who triples.
Automong misses, but a big shot by Beatty, and that might be a winner right there.
It is.
Because that should be a winner.
Well, he stays behind the foul line, so clutch shot by him. And Rummel's number 2 triples as well, so Rummel's low pit coming on really strong at the end of the game. That could really separate those 2 teams. That's Shira, who's a junior. Devin Shira. Rummel. Beatty just needs to stay behind the line to win his match. He did. And he figured he might as well strike.
Yeah, there you go.
So he did.
They've got a chance to put up a pretty decent score in that right-hand pair there. Beatty's got a chance at 212.
And Rummel has 3 straight triples.
Wow, what a low pair.
Tripped out everything.
Yeah, what a carry. Justin Smith looked like he had the 2, 7, 8, 10 up there for a minute, and they all went down.
Here's West trying to find a double, and it's twice in a row. He's gone deeper on the lane, and he's tripped a 6-pin. So it might not be the optimum, but it's carrying.
Yeah, now he's got a 15-pin lead.
Yeah, he's in good shape to win his match, despite not bowling his average. But then again, when your average is 238, that's hard to maintain.
It's hard to maintain. There's no doubt.
See a lot of balance issues for Brother Martin in particular.
Yeah. Oh, late slap of the 10-pin by Blake Hebert, and that's going to close out that match.
So now we watch the number 2 match between Rummel and East Ascension. That's a 1-pin match in the 10th frame. Those are the swing matches that help decide things. This is Altamont for East Ascension on a strike. Here we go. Good looking shot. Oh no, it's through the nose.
Split.
So now you just need a mark if you're Rummel's 5 to win that match, and that's Kerr. Just needs
even
a
9
mark.
out just needs a mark. Exactly. If he were to go 9 and 9 out, he would also have 191.
So
we'll watch that one here.
Well, they reset the lane. So Chapman's getting another shot. Apparently there might have been a pin down. He's getting another shot.
I'm not sure what happened there.
I'm not sure what happened
And he
either.
still leaves a 3-6.
So that split didn't count. So that's still a one-pin match because you're on a double here. Kerr has to strike to maintain that edge. Here we go. And that is an even match. 163 to 163.
Could end up a tie. We got a tight one here at 5 in front of us.
Yep. This is a chance to double in the 10th frame and a 4-pin. Good shot. A spare registered.
All right. Okay, so
by Chapman, so now Kerr has to spare as well.
Check over here on this Dutchtown Brother Martin match because this is a strike for a point here for Brother Martin, for Jacob Van Gilder.
Leaves a 4-pin, so that'll be a win for Dutchtown at 5. And that's a key point to get. They're going to win at 5. They're probably going to win at 6. Here's a big fill ball here. Chapman struck. So now Kerr must strike here to have a tie match.
Yeah, we'd have a half a point. A split right there.
And he releases. And he strikes. Oh, you have a rare tie. Don't see that very much, but you just saw it.
We see him every once in a while here.
And now West has tripled, so West has gotten his game back for sure. Tripped a couple of 6s. Now he changed. What he did was I really liked is he changed lines. He wasn't carrying. He was finding the pocket consistently, but he moved deeper, and it's created a little bit more area for him. There's a ball switch here.
Good time for that. You do that.
Fill
match
ball.
is over. You try something different on the fill ball there.
There's a stone 8-pin for Linker. You can't throw a better shot than that. Still going to win his match, but you throw a ball like that. Wow. And here's West again, and there's a 7-pin. That one was more in the oil. He didn't swing that one as much as he has the others. And it seems to me that when he gets it in, Lenny, he's not carrying the 7-pin.
Right. That can happen. You got to make those adjustments. This is looking right now like 7.5 to a half for Rummel. This is a statement here because this is a very good East Ascension team.
Rummel sweeps the low pair with a 587 for a low pair. That's pretty good.
And that's not even.
That's not even done yet.
And they're not even done yet.
No, you're right. They're not finished yet, right?
So this will be a 5-3 Brother Martin lead, it appears.
Linker bowls 226. Yeah, that's pretty impressive stuff with Rummel. If you look at those scores there, you got
170 at 1, then 214, a chance for 218 at 3, then 212, 203, 226. So they're going to get potentially 5 200 games.
Pretty deep team. I think Jesuit has that type of team for sure. That we've seen Shaw, without a doubt, has that type of team in this area.
So let's check in now on that Holy Cross Catholic
let's
match,
focus
which
on
is
Holy
the one.
Cross.
Yeah, which is the one match still outstanding at this point. Holy Cross wins at 1. Catholic wins at 2. Looks like Catholic is going to win 3.
Yes.
Catholic wins at 4.
Catholic won at 4. Catholic's
going to win at 5.
And Catholic's winning at 6 right now.
Yeah, they've got a chance to take a 7-1
7-1 lead. And a nice shot here. Beautifully done. That's a triple at number 3 for Catholic. Perfect execution.
Good shot for Holy Cross as well.
Colton Carsley.
That is, I'm sorry, it's Odin Lesh, I believe, at 3.
Lesh
okay. for Holy Cross, yes.
Okay, talking about Catholic at 3.
Catholic at 3, yeah. That's Karizny, the junior two-hand.
Karizny, correct.
169 average. He could strike out here for 215.
Bolden, excellent game. Catholic looking like they're at home. They're bowling extremely well in this game. And he two-hands it. And finishes at 214. Excellent game. Well done. And a nice job to finish out. Struck out. Holy Cross at 3. That's impressive.
So Rummel turns in 12:08 for the first game here. 567 on the left pair. 183. They had an open there at the
end.
end.
An open frame.
Yeah,
so
at 6:41. So
still a good game.
They shoot 12:08 and swept the left side, and again took 2.5 on the right side. So that is going to be 7.5 to a half.
And the total pins are pretty substantive.
12:08 to looks like.
Well, they won the low pair.
10
demonstrative fashion.
So I believe 142. Is that right? Yeah, they won the left side by 92. They won the right side by 57. So that's a 149 pin lead.
All right, so we're going to let Lenny update the team scores of these matches once we compile them all. Catholic's number 6 bowler's thrown 4 in a row, and he's trying to punch out here. He releases it, and he's through the nose. Still going to have a big win, though. He's going to end up in the 2 teens. So Catholic in great shape there. They're going to win their first game over Holy Cross in pretty solid fashion. It's Carter Mesh on at number 6. Finishes up and spares and finishes with a 2-14 game. That's a really good set for Catholic. They had a 214, a 198, 233, 214 with their last 4 bowlers. Very impressive start for the Bears.
They shoot 1164. That's a big score. Their season high was 1165, so 1 pin off of that.
Very impressive. All right, so Lenny, why don't you?
I'll check on that real quick. I'll be right
We'll
back.
get him right back. We'll get all these team scores set up as Game 2 is set to begin, and we are so glad that you joined us for this coverage of high school bowling. The Baton Rouge region taking on the New Orleans region here at Bolero in Kenner. I'm Ken Trahan with Lenny Van Gilder. We are so pleased that you're taking time to join us, and we are enjoying bringing this to you as we do each and every year. We've been able to bring you the LHSA finals every year as well for the last several years, and we certainly anticipate being able to do that again this year as we thoroughly enjoy the opportunity to bring that to you. So we'll get Lenny to give you the team scores here after one game in just a moment and throw in some pin totals and such, so we have a pretty good idea about these particular matches that we're focusing on here today.
Yeah, so basically we mentioned Rummel 7.5 to a half. With the total, we said it was 147, I believe. Brother Martin is up 5-3 on Dutchtown, up 57 in total. And Catholic leads Holy Cross 7-1, up 98 in total.
So solid leads for Catholic and Rummel in particular after one game. And we'll keep an eye on Preston West in the second game. He changed lines and had better results as the first game progressed. There's a beautiful shot. At number 5 for Torres for Dutchtown.
Get those scores updated on your screen in a matter of moments here.
Can't miss 1 pin spares. Those are especially those that are not corner pins. And West flushes one and strikes here. Just like the move that he made, and I think he's set up to score very well now. Can't keep a good man down, right?
He's too talented. There's no doubt about that.
Stone 9-pin for Linker. Seen a couple of those.
Wow. Some of that is they're generating
too much
much power in the ball, and they're generating an angle that instead of getting any kind of deflection, the 5 is just going straight back off the 9.
With power players like that young man is, the best hits are the lighter hits. They're going to carry every one of those because of how much roll they have. Oftentimes the flush hits are the ones that cost you, that you don't get. But like I said before, of all the bowlers I've seen, he's got the smoothest release. The ball comes off his hand, but cleaner than anybody else.
And the thing about two-handers a lot of times is you don't see that often. So Jacob going back to the other ball that he didn't like the reaction he got in the first frame, went back to the other one. Maybe he didn't like what happened on the film.
That's a nice shot in the track, but a flat 10-pin.
Checking on some of the other lineup, it's like Brother Martin has made one change, and it's kind of shuffled things around a little bit. Sam Vollenweider was contending with a bit of a back issue, and he's out this game, and that moved some other people around. Jeremiah Cordero has gone in at the 2 spot, which moves Peyton Averill to 3, and then Blake Hebert has to switch pairs and move over to the 4 slot.
That's a very good cover on a 10-pin. Like seeing that. So the teams really under the most pressure right now would be East Ascension and Holy Cross.
No doubt.
Who really have to bowl good second games to have chances to win their matches.
I mean, obviously, remember, you see there, it's 14 to win. You're in a position potentially to get yourself shut out if you're not careful, okay? But at the same time, you want to put yourself in the best position to be able to win going into the third game. If it's tight, it becomes pretty simple. If it's, you start getting into those 10-6, 11-5 matches, there are ways to get there. But even, once you get to 11-5, you have to be able to win total pins to win a match. Because if the other team wins the super total, that gets them to 14, no matter what you do in the third game. So, in a perfect world, you want to be able to, stay in that 10-6, 9-7 range if you can. And the other thing, when you do have a half point in play like you have with the Rummel East Ascension match, the other thing that becomes a possibility is a tie. Very nearly could have had one in the Brother Martin Holy Cross match a couple weeks ago. It ended up 15.5, 11.5 Holy Cross. Brother Martin lost the last game, I believe, by 20 pins. Had they flipped that 20-pin margin at the end, even if they didn't win another match, it would have been 13.5, 13.5. In the regular season, that's just a tie. We get to the playoffs, that is, you play it off, you roll off another game.
East Ascension at number 3 is off to a double to start game 2. That's Elliot Duanlis. Double for Beatty for Rummel. And Catholic Holy Cross, no doubles to start that matchup thus far. We always look for strikes to start the game. Western West has the first 2 for Dutchtown.
Nice comeback to get the spare after the shot in the channel by Torres.
Yep. Yeah, that's gut check. Come back from a ditch ball to be able to spare it up. And you watch West and you can watch Linker almost one after the other here. The releases. One guy's tall with power and stands up at the line and generates that leaves an 8-pin. The other one is shorter and sets it down low and smooth and carries for a double. Different styles, both two-handers, both with power, but they do it different ways.
And you're right. There are multiple ways to do what you want to do in the lanes. There's no doubt about it.
But of everything I've seen, I've watched four. I've been out here 4 days, and that's the fourth one. We'll watch one or two more shots here. The thing that's noticeable to me is the plethora of two-handers, number one, because there are more two-handers this year than I've ever seen.
Right. And see what is happening. Here's what's happening now. We are now, 10, 11 years into the Jason Belmonte era of dominance, and kids are going to do what they see. And more of that is starting to happen now. It's becoming a bigger part of the game. While we have a moment before we get at the midpoint of this match, let's take a look at the Division I power rankings. What's interesting is Airline is sitting at number 1 right now, but you see a lot of those local teams at number 2. Rummel at 2, Holy Cross at 3, Jesuit at 5. Captain Shreve is 4, Alexandria 6, Parkway 7, East Ascension we're seeing in action against Rummel at 8. And then the right-hand column, 9 through 16, you see Denham Springs and Brother Martin who are in action here today. In this new format this year, which we really haven't talked much about, but for the first year we have 2 divisions in boys bowling, and this is long overdue. You had almost 100 teams competing, and now you've got, as these numbers keep climbing, you've got to, go into 2 divisions. And so basically your line this year is drawn simply at this. If you're a 5A school, you're in Division 1. If you're not a 5A school, you're in Division 2. And, that's kind of where that is.
Yeah, interesting dynamic. And again, as you mentioned.
But only 16 teams will make the playoffs. That's the other thing to remember. So there's not a lot of margin. You're going to see some very good teams miss the playoffs in Division 1.
Watch out for that team at number 5, Jesuit. That's a good looking team.
That is a very good team. They made a big comeback in their last match the Thursday before Mardi Gras. Bowling Hammond in their home center had to come back and rally in the last game to win that match. They were down, I believe, 11-5 in that match. They came back and won 15-12.
I've seen them 3 times. They can get their number 1 spot going. They'll beat anybody. I mean, that's it. They're deep. The 3, 4, 5, and 6 really good for that team. And then my other observation is, as mentioned earlier, Rummel's much better. But of all the people I've seen, the one I probably like the most is that number 6 for Rummel. I just think the kid's got the cleanest release of anybody, and he's very, very accurate, extremely accurate. And lo and behold, he's a freshman.
Yep. He's been at it a while, as you see Justin Smith go through the face there and leave the 3-pin for Rummel at number 3.
Good release, good result for Jacob Van Gilder. He's got a triple as he's opened up the lane a little bit now.
Yeah.
Things start to change a little as the transition takes place in the lanes.
How do you handle it? That's what it comes down to. How do you handle the transition?
Preston West for a double. And he slapped out the 7.
Yeah, he got it
wide enough.
Got it wide.
Anytime he's wide enough, he's carrying.
Yeah.
Whether he's tripping out the 7 or tripping out the 6.
All about entry angle.
Buffkin triple. So Brother Martin's on a roll. Look at the Crusaders now. 9 straight strikes.
Yep.
Goodness gracious.
We get a look at Blake Hebert here in the number 4 spot. And this is what's interesting. You move over sometimes from the left pair to the right pair.
Yeah.
You're changing lanes, and sometimes that's hard. He's handled it with...
Looking for number 6. He tripped a 4-pin. We got something to watch here.
There you go.
And Beatty has a 4-bagger for Rummel. So we got some games to watch here, starting right here with Hebert, number 4 for Brother Martin.
He's another one that made an enormous jump in the last year. He was, bowling maybe 4 or 5 games a year ago. It's about a 150 average bowler, and just has stuck with it and made a huge improvement. And you're seeing some of that right now.
And he's a sophomore.
He is a sophomore.
Pretty special.
Ball shot, 7-pin there.
He's a 7-pin, tough break. Good shot. Stops the streak of strikes. Only a tap prevents that.
Yep. Washout conversion attempt here.
Now we'll get a chance to watch the young man Linker that I spoke of, who stoned a 9-pin in the first frame, and then he's tripled after that. It's all about carry for him. He's going to hit the pocket.
You see it? That's right there. Oh, half 10. It just
didn't have the entry angle. Didn't have the entry angle. Like I said, it's all about carry. Looking at Catholic and Holy Cross. Catholic's got a triple and the number 6 position right now, which is Mashon. So he's got a triple and leads his match. Holy Cross up at number 4. Catholic up at 5 and 6. It's early in the match on the other pair.
Left side. It looks like Holy Cross may have a little bit of an edge here.
We're going to need to win. Yeah. Holy Cross needs to win at least 4 matches, if not 5.
Oh, no doubt. You got to get it. You got to get that. You see the scores on your screen. They're down 7-1.
And Preston West with a triple. He's locked in.
Went with the rocket that time. He got that previous shot a little wide. That was a
rocket to the pocket.
That was the rocket to the pocket. Exactly. All right.
Yeah, Holy Cross up in their matches, 2 of 3 on the low pair.
Back on lane 51. Hebert with 6 in a row, looking for 7.
Linker, by the way, missed the 10-pin, which is unusual for him. Tripped it out, 7 in a row. Blake Hebert with 7 straight for the Crusaders. head in hand, smiling. It's all about carry. You make a good enough shot, you give yourself a chance. He did just that, and he tripped the 4. And it's getting fun to watch. We got our first real streak of the day.
I think we've had one on our air over the years. Remember, we had Cody Schaefer shot one, got it on our cameras a little bit there as he was on one of the adjoining pairs, and we got to show the 10th frame of that one. While we have a moment, Ken, today's coverage on Crescent City Sports brought to you by the Greater New Orleans USBC, serving men, women, and youth bowlers in the New Orleans area. For upcoming news on this year's city tournament, check their website at gnousbc.org or their Facebook page. Come out, support your local association, and have fun doing it.
Buffkin pulls it, and he leaves a crossover 9-pin. And you really can't give Preston West any ground whatsoever. You want to have a shot bowling him in a match. It's tough stuff. Again, it's just astonishing to see an average like that. I know it's early, but still. 238. That's insane.
Well, that was last year. Again, that was 238 for an entire season.
Yeah,
and the entire season before that. And let's see what again, this is his first match of the year. So let's see where his starting point becomes this year. He's still got a lot of season to go. Dutchtown's only bowled 3 matches this year. That's one of the things I didn't get into in the power rankings, and I know, Kent Lowe and I talked last night. He's writing something very similar for his online column in the Advocate as well. What's the part of the imbalance in power rankings right now is, unlike football, where when you're 6 weeks in, everybody's played 6 games, right? Maybe somebody's played 5. No, you've got teams like in Shreveport that have played anywhere from 7 to 9 matches thus far, and you've got teams down in South Louisiana, for whatever reason, have only played 3. So it's a different story.
Holy Cross has a 4-bagger number 2 spot right now.
Number 2, I believe that's Gavin McDowell. We'll check on that. They may have substituted some people in. And a stone 8
Goodness gracious.
Good shot there. Number 3.
It's painful to watch when you make a shot like that. Goodness gracious.
Almost their entire team is two-handed, and almost their entire team has started bowling within the last 12 months.
Beatty leaves another 7-pin, but spares it up. I said Beatty, West, I should say. Spares it up. Beatty throws a triple for Rummel. For West again. It's all about carry. West is making the shots now. Just a matter of being able to knock pins down. All right, here we go.
52.
Here we go with
Hebert for 7 in a row.
Blake Hebert. Release high.
Got away
with it. Tripped. Okay, well, the 6-8, right?
The 4-6. That was a 4-6. That went right through the face and got away with it.
Yeah, 4-6. My bad.
You get some brace.
When it's going for you, it's going for you.
Exactly. Wow. The other thing this is doing, Ken, is this is building up a margin as well in total pins.
Without a doubt.
You got a lot of other even matches out there in some cases.
Double for Van Gelder, who's bowling very well this game. Again, the lane's opened up for him. He's in a good position right now. Made the right move, keeping the ball he's kept.
Yeah, a good shot early and then lost it and then got something back.
Buffkin strikes.
Just want to stay in contact there with Preston West.
Linker leaves another stone 9.
Wow. Wow. All we can do is chuckle a little bit there. It's a good shot.
When it's not for you, it's not for you. And West slaps it out. He's locked in. He has not missed a pocket in this game.
Yeah, he's got an 11-pin lead. It's a good match going at 6.
Look at this leave on 49.
Oh, wow. The 7, 9, 10. I don't know if he probably slapped the 4 out there. That's what it started with.
That's crazy.
You see some crazy things once in a while.
All right, here we go. Hebert on the approach on 51 for 9 in a row. Good release.
Great
and he's
shot.
got 9 straight.
Wow.
As soon as he let it go, release point of entry, perfect. So our first drama of the afternoon here.
With these scoring conditions, you knew something was a possibility today.
Van Gelder with a triple. He's completely locked in now.
we'll quickly check in on the others right now as they're getting late, but obviously we'll come back to Blake Hebert's 10th frame. As you look at the match to our left, East Ascension Rummel, it is Rummel with the lead at 1, East Ascension with the lead at 2, with the lead at 3, Rummel with the lead at 4, Rummel with the lead at 5, and it's getting tighter at 6 right now. So it's kind of evening up a little bit, but as East Ascension got too big of a hole to dig their way out of. And then as you look in on the match to our right with Catholic and Holy Cross, it is Catholic with a slight lead at 1, Holy Cross with the lead at 2, and I believe at 3 as well.
That's right.
Holy Cross with the lead at 4, at 5, and at 6. So they've got a chance to make up some ground.
Tigers making a move,
Yeah, you get a 7-1 here. Now all of a sudden it's an 8-8 match. Because as you see, they trail 7-1.
And another stone over here, a stone 8-pin for Care. So we're seeing a lot of those kind of leaves here today. Sometimes you attribute it to rack, sometimes it's just power. That particular shot looked like might have been the rack. And you leave a 7-10 in the pocket at Rummel's number 1 spot. So that match tight too.
Double by West to take a commanding lead there.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
In the 10th frame. For those that aren't aware, you need 12 strikes for a perfect game. He's got the front 9. And this is Blake Hebert, Brother Martin. Doesn't waste any time. Gave it room. Oh, and he leaves the 4-pin. Well, that's a good shot, though. He gave that ball room. It's a big round of applause. Made a really good shot. That was not a tug 4-pin. That was a roll 4-pin. He gave it room, stayed behind it nicely, and just left the 4. That's just an excellent shot. Just didn't get the good result. For the conversion, he's got it.
Yep, and a chance to strike in the fill ball here for a 279. Nothing like a little drama to get things started, right?
Yeah, he knows that he made a good shot. That's what matters. He can only make the shot and hope for the result. 8-10, that's never fun.
No.
And for his fill ball, another 4-pin. So no problem. 278 game for Blake Hebert, our game of the day. And a big round of applause for him. Well done.
He's got a chance to be a big right side performance here for Brother Martin this one. Jacob coming up with a chance to strike out in the 10th for 258.
Gave that room. Another good shot. Yep. Yeah, he's just opened the lane up. He's got a really good shot right now. And he's got a bowling ball that he can get a little deeper with as compared to the one he typically uses.
If you just saw what happened on lane 50, I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
Oh, my goodness. He chopped the 1.
Chopped the 1 and slid the 2 in front of the 4.
I've never seen that.
That's bizarre.
Never seen that, ever. And there's a 5-bagger for the number 6 bowler for East Ascension. He's got the lead on Laker, and that's a big shot he just made for 5 in a row.
What's
for East Ascension? That's Wheat. Really good job. Linker doubles to keep himself in it.
We got a tight one coming up here at 2 in this Dutchtown Brother Martin match, which, again, they've got obviously in hand number 6 at this point. But number 2 could be a pivotal match here. Jeremiah Cordero string 3 in a row to kind of make this competitive. We'll see. He's coming up in a moment. It's still Tyler Nunez up on lane 50.
And a 247 for Jacob Van Gilder. Another outstanding game.
Big open right there, and this gives Cordero a chance to get up and mark in the 10th frame to win it too.
That's right. Lufkin strikes.
All right, so let's we'll wait We're going to go check back in on this Rummel East Ascension match, which is coming to the finish as well on the right-hand pair as we look at it. And that's a big double in the 10th by Beatty to win at 4 to clinch that point.
They needed it too because his opponent is striking out.
Cordero crosses over and leaves a 5-pin, so he's got to make this spare to win the point.
Middle of the lane. Let's see if West can punch out. He's got a double. Sends it wide and watches him fly. Nothing wrong with that. So he needs to cover this 5-pin to win the match for Brother Martin, to win this particular match. Lets it go, and he's going to make it. So there's your conversion, made the 5-pin.
Yep, there you go. That's for a point.
Comes up huge. West, meanwhile, strikes again, so well on his way to 258 here.
We'll finish in the 250s. So let's check back in now on the match at number 1, because the match at number 6 is in the balance right here, as Kerr will convert the spare, and then we'll get in the situation to see what's going on at number 6. Number 5's in the balance as well.
Yeah, those are two good matches there.
Chapman's going to step up with a chance to win at 6.
Yeah, he can strike to win the match. That's
strike
right.
and 9 would clinch the match.
Correct. Depending on pin count from Kerr.
Right. Yeah, right.
West leaves a 7-pin, so
257.
257, not too shabby. What else is new? Terrific job by Preston West.
Brother Martin's right side shoots 740. They're going to be close to 1,300 for this game.
Kerr strikes.
Big carry for Kerr to get to 211. So here you go. Here goes Chapman.
He aims a strike 9 to win. So strike 9 to win right here for Chapman. Left-hander. Left-hand two-hander, I should say. Sent it wide. And can't trip it.
No, that's a big point for Rummel right there. And again, the 6 is every bit as close. And as we start to wrap up Game 2, Ken, let's welcome in the State Director of Louisiana High School Bowling, Rick Bourgeois, who has volunteered his time for more than 20 years to do this and has seen this sport continue to grow and grow and grow. And it's a lot due to your efforts, Rick, in working with the Louisiana High School Athletic Association, working with the proprietors to see this sport grow. And one of the things is, as we were preparing for this broadcast there, Rick, one of the things, and looking at the numbers across the state right now, going into this week, we have 35 bowlers in Louisiana averaging 200.
That's pretty good.
We had 17 last year. Now, the season's
double
not
the total.
over.
That's right.
Yeah, so that tells me the quality of youth bowling in Louisiana is continuing to improve, and more kids are getting involved. You mentioned, I believe before, we have 12 new programs across the state this year.
Well, 12 programs, plus for the first time, I think, in almost 15 years, I actually have like 8 junior varsity teams in competition. So it just means that more and more kids that have better ability are being kept aboard, on their teams.
Yeah, big shot by Linker and a first strike in the 10th. Let's see how this plays out here. Audemont left the 8.
Yeah, I'm so impressed with that young man. He's a freshman. He is.
It's Wheat. I'm sorry. Yeah,
he's really good.
Yeah,
that young man is really good.
Anthony Linker, the number 6 for Rummel, was, he's won some U15 tournaments, but he gets that number 6 spot as a freshman, and it is showing us why he belongs there. He has been outstanding.
Again, just the smoothest release of anyone I've seen, and seems to be unflappable in terms of his reaction too. Not the emotional type whatsoever. No. I mean, the ball comes off his hands so well.
Big strike there. Again. He'll finish in the 230s, and Rummel is going to sweep the high side. And let's see how this low side plays out. They might have a chance to close out this match here, Ken.
Yeah, they had a 7.5 to 1/2 point lead going in, and then we're going to flip our coverage to Holy Cross and Catholic, and Catholic had a big lead after game 1 in that one as well. So looking at, the low pair is still going on between East Ascension and Rummel. East Ascension is winning actually every match. East Ascension's winning all 3 matches.
Wow.
By a big margin, I might add, it looks like.
That's big. So, Rick, is the other big story, of course, in Louisiana High School bowling this year is on the boys' side, that we have two divisions for the first time. Division 1, the 5A schools. Division 2, everybody 4A and below. Your participation numbers obviously to the point that warranted this change, and it was approved almost unanimously by the Louisiana high school principals that are involved in bowling. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, what happened is I've been looking at the numbers, and we've had one tournament, so it doesn't matter if you're a B school, A school, 1A, 5A, everybody competed in the same division. But over the last few years, we're starting to have between 45 and 50 schools that are 5A and 5A schools, and we had a similar number which were 4A and below. And the wisdom of the principals also, I think the vote was like 96 to 3 or something like that, that gave us the right to, this year we're going to have a 5A tournament for 16 teams, and then we'll also have a 4A and below. And the 5A tournament will be held at one of the bowling centers.
Colonial and Harahan, right?
Right, and then the 4A will be,
I believe, in Baton Rouge.
In Baton Rouge at All-Star, yeah. So it's just been the way we've grown, and so I appreciate all you do with Crescent City Sports, and you've been around for a few years now, and parents really enjoy being able to watch it remote. So I appreciate that.
It's a labor of love for us, no question. But and again, we try to do our part. This is an easy sport to be able to cover. I mean, it's in a very small space. I know it's a challenge for you trying to, police things sometimes and make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. But it's a sport that that is obviously on the upswing in terms of participation in Louisiana, and you see the quality as well that is continuing to grow.
And we have, more and more of our coaches have some background. I mean, I actually had a couple of boys that played for Archbishop Shaw. Their mother was their coach, and now they're coaching two new teams here in the New Orleans region, John Curtis, and then I think we had Fisher. So that just goes to show you how it grows. But look, I tell you what I do. I have a 6 o'clock basketball team with one of my granddaughters in Covington.
Well, I'm glad you got in here. I'm glad we got you in for a couple of minutes. Listen, Ray, thanks for everything you do, and we appreciate you stopping by.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate y'all.
As soon as the second game is over, we're gonna take a look at some of the dates that are out there as this match starts to wrap up. To our right.
All right, East Ascension is going to win that game 5-3 over Rummel. Their low pair dominated Rummel's low pair in that game.
And they're going to overtake total.
So East Ascension wins
that
game 5-3, and looks like Holy Cross might win 4-2, as I'm double-checking that right now.
Catholic won at 4. Catholic won impressively at 6, but Holy Cross is going to get a very impressive sweep on the left-hand pair and pick up a lot of total pins in the process.
Right, they're going to win 4 of the 6 matches and win total, so that tightens up. So does East Ascension Rummel.
Now let's go check. I'll go check on those scores.
We'll let you do that.
We'll be right back.
And we'll get everybody updated as soon as Lenny is able to procure all of the totals from those games, as we bring you live coverage of the matchup between the Baton Rouge region and the New Orleans area region here from Bolero in Kenner, along with Lenny Van Gilder. I'm Ken Trahan. We're pleased that you've taken time to join us here this afternoon for our continuous high school sports prep coverage here on CrescentCitySports.com. Saw a 278 game this past game in a tremendous fashion, which was fun to watch, with the perfect game possibility into the 10th frame by Blake Hebert of Brother Martin. And he finished up in great shape with that 278. So very impressive job on his part. Preston West, of course, shooting 257. So he's doing what he does, which is bowl great. And he's positioned right now on lane number 51, starting his third and final game as Dutchtown continues to bowl against Brother Martin. And West gives it room, and West slaps him out. 10 in the deck by Preston West. A very common occurrence, as he gets the job done beautifully here. And West getting Dutchtown off to a decent start. They have 2 strikes on the high pair to start the third game. Of course, Brother Martin has 2 strikes and a spare as well. Crusaders are in a solid position in that particular match. The other 2 matches, as I mentioned, tighten up as a result of the last game. And again, Lenny will update you as soon as he's able to get all the totals from those 2 games. You see the figures from the first game on the screen. Rummel had a 7.5 to half point lead over East Ascension. Brother Martin had a 5-3 lead over Dutchtown. Catholic at a 7-1 lead over Holy Cross. And again, the two matches that were one-sided in game one were not one-sided at all in game two. They went the other way, with the teams that were down winning in game two from a team perspective. Of course, total pins is a big part of that too, and we'll get you caught up on that momentarily as we watch more of the match here taking place. Linker, by the way, bowled 236. Rummel's high pit bowled 667, but East Ascension dominated on the low pit in that match. Holy Cross on the low pit totally dominant, 569 to 456. That's 113 pins margin there, which made up for them losing the high pair, but they need big numbers to be able to overcome Catholic in the third game. Still a chance, but it's going to take a big third game from the Tigers to be able to pull that off. East Ascension back in the match with Rummel. As mentioned, Brother Martin in a good spot. The Crusaders have looks like they made a change or two in their lineup here for game three as well. We'll get you caught up on that here in a minute or two as well as the action continues here at Bolero in Kenner. This is a 64-lane center, opened in the early 1980s, and it's had a heyday. It's had PBA events here, Ladies Professional Bowler Tour events here, many other big tournaments in this facility. They've modernized it over the years. You got the video capability now on the backboards. Changed the lighting, changed the decor, and they got the Houdat theme going here on either wall of Bolero and Kenner, of course, for the New Orleans Saints. And that gives you some sort of perspective on what we're dealing with. This house, as I mentioned, opening in the early 80s, it was a Don Carter's facility then, which had two major facilities in the area, but they pulled out, and now one of those facilities is gone, and this one is here, and it's Bolero, which is a popular brand around the country.
Yeah, they're becoming. Yeah, and they've got ownership in the PBA. There's a lot of commonalities, if you will, in the sport of bowling now.
Good deal. You have some numbers you want to pass along?
Yeah,
now?
We'll see the score update here in just a moment, but it's now 10.5, 5.5 Rummel, as you mentioned. Rummel with a lead of 89 pins in total. That's what they're trying to hang on to.
That's doable for East Ascension.
Yes, that is, and obviously they need to overcome that. Brother Martin with an 11-5 lead, and it's 180 pins in total.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Yeah, now the Catholic Holy Cross match, the tightest match. It's 9-7 Catholic, but the margin is down to 44. So Holy Cross cut into that very significantly, winning 6 of 8 points and knocking it was right at 100 going into game two. And now it's at 44.
For both Holy Cross and East Ascension, it was all about their low pits dominating that game. East Ascension dominated Rummel on the low pit, and Holy Cross dominated Catholic on the low pit in game two, which really changed the dynamic of those matches and make them very competitive. Brother Martin's made changes here in game three with a significant lead.
Yeah, see.
And East Ascension's off to a good start with 2 triples on the low pair to start game three.
Yeah, for Brother Martin, this is Gavin Cardoza in at number 1. First time we're seeing him today.
Brother Martin off to a little bit of a slow start here in game three. But again, they got a very solid total pins edge.
Wow. Cordero missed the spare, but the head pin came out of the back, and the deadwood is probably 20 feet down the lane before it rolled in the channel.
7 pin for West stops his 2-bagger to start the game.
So now that we're into this third game, we did want to take a look, as we were touching on it with Rick, about the schedule, because again, we're about halfway through the season at this point. 4 weeks from today will be bracket day. Of course, we're talking about it in boys basketball. The brackets came out today, and
we'll have a story on that at Crescent City Sports probably by later this evening. Been a little bit of a busy day. Did some baseball earlier today, as Lenny mentioned, high school baseball starting today. I do Delgado games, had their game earlier. And speaking of high school baseball, we got Archbishop Rummel and Archbishop Shaw tomorrow night live on 106.1 FM. 6:30 game time, 6:15 pregame from Winterscheid Stadium. The Raiders and the Eagles. We'll have that one for you on radio.
Speaking of the Raiders, Jay Roth over to our left taking in the match here today. The newly inducted Rummel Hall of Famer. Should have happened a long time ago. Because now you look at those dates that we were talking about. So basically a month from today, the brackets will be announced. And then the week of March 25th will be your early round matches. And we're, again, 16-team brackets, so you will have first and second rounds only in Boys Division II, Boys Division I, and Girls. 2 of those 3 early rounds will be conducted here in the New Orleans area. The other one with All-Star Lanes at Baton Rouge. So everything in the New Orleans, Baton Rouge region. And then we get to the week after Easter, April 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Then we get to all of our finals. And on the 3rd, it'll be the girls' team finals at Premier and Gonzales. And then on April 4th, the boys, both Division I and II, will contest their finals at Premier. And then we all head to All-Star in Baton Rouge for the singles finals on April 5th.
Well, we got a 4-bagger at number 4.
Hebert's had it again.
Guess who? Blake Hebert, who's having the time of his life here today, and we're enjoying every inch of it. He's up there right now looking for 5 in a row.
It's a good shot,
but he left the 10.
He got the messenger.
It's his day. Okay,
It is.
He's carrying virtually everything. You make good shots, you give yourself a chance for good things to happen, and that's what happened there. Messenger, beautifully done. Great stuff. Couldn't be any better.
Match at 5, pretty even at this point.
Stone
8-10.
Seen a few of those. Ugly as can be. Drive you nuts when you make good shots like that. Those are the best shots when you leave the 8 for a right-hander or the 9 for a left-hander. Sometimes the right-handers leave 9s. It's crazy.
Exactly.
Crazy
Jay,
stuff.
we're talking about, you saw the 9 in a row that Blake Hebert had the last game. Again, the match against Slidell, 2-3 weeks ago now. Last game was an 8-8 game going into the last game. And Jacob had the front 9 in the final game and left a solid 9-pin on 9 in a row. Yeah.
Pain.
Shot.
Buffkin kicks out the 10-10. East Ascension continues to bowl well on their low pair. Rumble's bowling better on their low pair to start the 3rd game.
Yeah, it's pretty even right now. East Ascension's got a lead at 3, slight lead at 1 as well, but they're both stringing strikes. Rummel with a little bit of an edge on the high pair at this point, and again, they're sitting at 10.5, as you see.
7-pin for West, and
so they need 3.5 points, and they've got the edge in total at this point. But you can hold an 89-pin edge in total, then you can, you're okay to win, presumably.
Linker leaves another 9-pin on a strike. It's all about carry. If he carries, his numbers will be big. He hasn't carried well enough to be big.
Angle to the pocket. As you look over Catholic Holy Cross, that is the tightest match as you see it on the scoreboard.
Yeah. Catholic with a good start on the low pair with 2 doubles.
And they got 2, 3, and 6 all starting with doubles in this game.
Yeah, and they've
not a great start for Holy Cross.
Not at all.
They've got opens at 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 within the first 2 frames.
Yeah, really struggling on the high pair. And Catholic gets a triplet number 2. So great start for the Bears with that match in the balance, and a 7-10 for Holy Cross. Goodness gracious, that's painful to see a 7-10 stand.
Now 6 in a row for Hebert.
Unreal. 6 straight. Started last game with 9 straight.
And you see
Catholic with 2 triples now at numbers 2 and 3. Really impressive.
And over on the left pair in this Dutchtown Brother Martin match, Corey Anderson at number 2. He's got 5 in a row.
So we got 2 streaks to watch here in one match.
All right, this is the monitor resets itself there.
Anderson with 5 straight, Abear with 6 straight in the same match. 1 for each team. Chapman with a double for East Ascension. Oh, Stone 7-pin. Vicara, the 4-pin flies right over the 7 on a flush hit. We've seen some unbelievable taps in this action here today. All around us, every kind, I might add, on flush hits. What I mean by flush is just absolute perfect, stone cold perfect entry. That's high, and there goes the streak.
Yep.
Leaves a 6-pin as he went through the nose.
Yep.
So that ends that streak. That's 6 for Abear. Gets a nice hand nonetheless. Buffkin missed a 4-pin. Close matches, you'll look for spares as much as anything. You'll fill the boxes mentality. And now we'll get a look at Anderson here as he tries for 6 straight.
Lane 50.
Beautiful shot. He's got the first 6 halfway there. What a start here for Ja'Cory Anderson. 6 straight for the Griffins. Bruce Himmert giving a lot of young men opportunities, switching up his players.
And you win. And here's the thing: you win at this sport with depth. I mean, it's Dutchtown with Preston West, and they've had they had Ryan Beam the last couple of years as well, and now you've got Braden Torres kind of moving into that number 5 spot.
Beautiful shot.
It's the depth that you've got to create. You win. The reason Brother Martin has won so many championships over the years isn't because of what they've done on the right side. It's what they've done on the left side.
Right. Torres with 4 in a row. He's bowling a beautiful game here. Got a 4-bagger for East Ascension at number 1, where they bowled extremely well last game. Their low pit was terrific last game, and a big margin.
You see, that's Grant Wells up at 1 right now,
and he's bowling right now. Left a 4-pin, made a good shot. Rummel's made a change or 2 also. It looks like they've a couple of changes in their lineup in both games so far. Linker continues to fail to carry up the 10-pin. He finds himself slightly ahead in his match regardless.
That's 5 in a row now for Catholic at number 2. That's Carson Johnson Harris, I believe. No, is that? Unless they may have made a change there. That may be Evan Gilbo at 2.
5 in a row, and then Smith for Rummel has 4 in a row now on their low pair, where they're bowling better this game. Anderson for the spare, and he got it. So the streak ends at 6. Able to convert the spare to maintain a solid lead in his match. You can see the excitement rising in these close matches. Holy Cross Catholic,
no doubt.
in particular, they're getting pretty animated.
A little loud, yeah.
They're getting pretty animated.
That's good,
because it means everything to them.
Well, again, you're looking at a Holy Cross team at this point that is 5-0. Catholic is 3-2. Okay, and again, we mentioned it's a 16-team bracket now. They came in 18th in the power rankings, so this win would vault them back into the top 16. A loss, and your margin for error to get to the playoffs gets very thin.
Mm-hmm. Double for Holy Cross at 1. Got a break.
Oh, wow.
Stone 8-pin here. Ouch. Again, we've seen so many of those, and he had thrown 4 in a row.
Torres on a 4-bagger.
He made a perfect shot and did not get the result. Say it all the time about this sport. It's one sport where you can do the perfect thing and not get the perfect result.
As we check back in on Rummel East Ascension.
Chapman trips out.
The 6'8".
6'8". Goodness gracious, for a four-bagger.
4 in a row.
It's big.
And then Kerr doubles, and that is a 6-pin lead at number 5. Rummel's got the lead at 6. Tight at 4. Rummel with a slight edge there. East Ascension with the edge at 1. Rummel with the edge at 2, it appears.
Yeah, with that half point, Rummel needs to win 4 points some way, shape, or form to win their match.
Right.
Whether that means winning 4 matches or winning 3 and winning total.
Yeah, if you can hold the edge at total, it's very simple.
Well, for Linker, it's all about carrying. He's carried every time on the left lane, but hadn't carried anything on the right lane. West smash. That's a triple. Clearly the best bowler in the state. I mean, there's no question about it.
No question. He probably has been in high school bowling for a couple of years. The one thing missing from his resume is some kind of state championship on the high school level. He finished, I believe, 6th a couple of years ago. And last year, we had that unbelievable match between West and Jonathan Arena of Archbishop Shaw.
Yeah.
For the championship. But
Hebert's come back with a double as he continues to bowl fantastic for Brother Martin. Just terrific stuff. And now a 5-bagger thrown by Chapman as he continues to bowl fantastic.
We're going to take a look back at the highlights of that 2023 singles championship because it was outstanding. You had West, who was just throwing strike after strike, and then Jonathan Arena couldn't miss either. And at one point they threw 20 consecutive strikes. Now West got up in the 10th frame, needed to strike out to force Arena to double. I mean, and he struck out for 280. Now Arena comes up and with all the pressure on, stuffs the first one in the 10th and then flushes one more, and you see the reaction. He knew what had happened, and there were no losers in that one. It was 287 to 280. As good a match
Phenomenal.
as you will see at any level of bowling. If you'd have seen that on the PBA Tour, you would have been saying what a great match that was, and they'd be talking about it for years.
Super stuff. Good match going on between Chapman and Kerr as they just keep battling it out in the 5 spot in that EA Rummel match. And that's a swing match. EA needs to win. They need to win this game.
They've got to get, what is it, 9 more points here.
Linker finally strikes on the right lane.
And the Brother Martin Dutchtown match wrapping up here in front of us. And Hebert, got a chance to finish up with a second straight 270. Needs a strike here. This is going to be a big series. He shot 191 the first game, changed pairs,
and took off.
And then went crazy.
Here we go in the 11th. Left.
Slap the 10.
It's your day. That's all I can say. I mean, right ball speed, right equipment. Sometimes it just matches up that way. And it certainly has for Blake Hebert today. Special. And he finishes up here. Perfect.
279.
279. What a game. What a series. What 2 games bowled by Hebert in succession.
748 with a 191 in there.
That's just marvelous stuff. Marvelous stuff. And that's a swing in the East Ascension Rummel match. East Ascension takes the lead at number 1 with a missed open frame for Rummel. You got to watch that. That's going to get very interesting.
Yeah, let's check in over there if we can. We'll go back and focus on that East Ascension.
Rummel's third bowler has got 6 in a row. Or number 3 spot. That's Smith, right? And a strike for Van Gilder, so he's going to bowl in the 200s. Brother Martin's high pit doing the job here. Of course, that helps when you have a 279 game. Won't hurt your cause. There's a solid 10-pin for Kerr. But his opponent, Chapman, has thrown a split. That match could change a little bit here, too. Although Kerr has to make the 10-pin. Slaps it out, so Vanguard will bowl in the 2 teens. Kerr converts the 10-pin, which was big in that match.
Give you an idea just how averages move. We're still early in the season. Abear came in with a 203 average. He's now going up to 214 after his performance today. So he's suddenly going to be on the right side of this lineup.
7-pin lead for East Ascension at 4, 10-pin lead for Rummel at 5. And I think Smith just threw another one for Rummel. He did.
7 in a row.
7 in a row. Boy, you talk about total pins. When you needed total pins, that'll do it for you. And there's Vangilder punching out for 216. So their first 2 bowlers combined for 495. Not too bad. The last match to finish here is going to be Catholic Holy Cross, so we'll be able to focus on that. And Preston West doing what he does.
No doubt.
He just threw his 5th in a row. It's fun to watch. This kid's so good. Just enjoyable to watch him bowl. Linker stones another 9-pin. Unbelievable.
Wow.
This
what is
kid,
that? That's at least 4 today.
That's unbelievable. I mean, it's just, and that's on the lane he had struck on every time. So that's kept that match somewhat competitive because he can't miss. He just can't carry. And in fact, that is a closer match now as a result of a double. And there isn't really any kind of adjustment you can make when you leave 9 pins and 8 pins. I mean, it's different with corner pins, but with those pins, there's not much you can do to change the dynamic. Now, Rummel's going to win at 3 for sure. They're up at
with a big lead, no less. So
if they can win a couple other matches.
That total is. But the thing is that the margin there, it could be 100 pins, and now total pins is basically in hand unless you just blow this thing. You went in with an, what did I say, an 89 pin lead in total pins.
East Ascension's up at 4. 5 is very close. Rummel just tripled in the 9th and 10th frame at number 1 to win the game. So the number 1 bowler is going to shoot 220s.
One's going to win.
2's going to win for Rummel, so it's 3.
That's
so
basically
it's over.
it. That's basically it.
Yeah, it's over. That one's over. And Kerr just struck for Rummel.
West
Keeps his lead.
strikes out for 259 and a 729.
729. There you go. Preston West. Yeah, he bowled his average.
Then some. Yeah, it's 240. So his average is 243 for their next match now.
That's all. That's all. A pleasure to watch, isn't he?
No doubt. No doubt.
Terrific bowling.
So now we focus on the other 2 matches that are.
Well, at least looks like the Rummel match is in the bag for Rummel. Let's watch Linker because this kid hadn't missed a pocket and he can't carry any. I mean,
he's got the lead. That's the good news from his perspective. He does have the lead.
Oh my goodness.
Another 9-pin. What do you do but shake your head?
I don't know what you can do.
Unless.
But look at his demeanor. That's why this kid's going to be great. Nothing bothers him.
Shakes it off.
Nothing bothers him. I mean, if that happened to me, Lenny, over and over again, I'd be done.
You know, Ashton Catalanato, who bowled number 6 for Brother Martin last year, was a graduating senior. He had the same type of attitude. Nothing fazed him.
Yeah.
Pressure didn't feel it. He's got a commanding lead. That's
going to be the best 2-0 game I've ever seen.
Right. That happens. Okay?
I mean, look at that. Every one of those 9s.
So we're staying on this right now so we can see Justin Smith finishes. He's got 7 in a row and a chance to shoot 269 at number 3.
Made a good shot.
There's another one there, trip to 10. And then we'll get to the finish of Holy Cross Catholic and let you know what's going on.
8 in a row, and what's he going to shoot there? 59 or
69 with a strikes out,
Yeah, 69. So Rummel was locked in a little bit of a tight battle, but your number 3 bowler took care of that. But so did their look at their low pit. 223, 209, and now
they got a chance if he strikes out to shoot 700 in a low pit.
And they're not too shabby in the high pit.
No, this could be a 1,300 game. Rummel's high game of the year was 1,291. They got a chance to shoot 1,300.
Well, what you're saying is they're a contender.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, I think all of the teams.
He left the 10 pit.
Oh, still 258. They're going to still be solidly in there, and we'll get you the final here on this one as Dutchtown wins at 2-3. Good performance on the left side for Dutchtown in the final game. and they win at 5 and 6 as well. Did they win total the last game? 12-28. I think Brother Martin barely held on for total, 12-35 to 12-28. Again, that huge margin at number 4 is what's going to carry the day.
Without a doubt.
So I believe it's a 4-4 final game, and that will make it an 18-9 victory for Brother Martin over Dutchtown.
Let's see what Beatty can do. He chops the spare. So East Ascension wins at number 4. So the East Ascension did win at 4, so they did get a match 1 here. Now 5, this match could go either way. Yep. Chapman and Kerr is a 10-pin match. Then we'll focus on Catholic Holy Cross and get you there. Chapman's on a strike, and, oh my, look at that leave on 48. Look at that leave.
Up, PBA washout, the 1-2-6-10. You know the new way to make this here now is what's happened is they've started shooting it, get deep on the lane, and and shoot it that way. Good to see one of my former high school bowling teammates, Chip Edler, out here today.
Chip is a great guy. Rommel Raider.
1982.
And
before there were.
All right, so a chop here opens the door if he can make the washout, and did not. So Kerr holds on to win despite the chop in the 10th.
That was bizarre. That was really weird.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy leave. He threw the ball way wide. Never got back.
So it hit the 4-pin is what happened. Because you see that look a lot of times, the right-handers who really hook it. Yeah.
So let's see what Linker can leave here in the 10th frame. He's had that perfect game without any perfect results. And it's a whole bunch of 9-pins, which is remarkable that he's left. And again, there isn't really any adjustment you can make to that. Oh my goodness, he stole an 8-pin.
Now an 8-pin. Oh man,
he's laughing.
You feel
he's cracking up.
You feel for him. There's no doubt.
Well, he's probably thinking about right now, I don't want to bowl on this pair anymore.
Well, chances are he will at some point. Now,
I hear you.
And we mentioned a couple of things we need to get to before everything wraps up. You enjoying what you're seeing? Come on out to Bolero Kenner and check out some action, or Colonial Lanes or West Side Lanes, wherever it is. Thursday. We talked about maybe the 4 best teams perhaps in the area in Division I. They're all facing each other. It's going to be Brother Martin against Rummel, and it's going to be Jesuit against Holy Cross on Thursday out here. That's going to be a lot of fun. So
in this bowling center,
Yeah. Holy Cross beat Brother Martin, but of those 4 teams, none of the others have bowled each other yet. So a lot of cross opportunities to go there. Shaw's number 1 in Division II right now. Patrick Taylor is number 2, also on the West Bank. They're going to bowl each other at West Side on March 7th. So a lot of good stuff to check out. Denham Springs and Dutchtown bowl Wednesday. I believe that's in Gonzales at Premier Lanes. So a lot of good matches coming up down the road there. East Ascension bowls Dutchtown March 6th. East Ascension bowls Denham Springs again on March 12th. They've already bowled once this year. So
257 for Catholic at number 2. They're going to win this match with a gigantic
they got a
third
huge
game from their second and third bowlers.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, and the third bowler's got to get 222 is what he's got to beat here. So he's got to fill some pin count here on this last shot.
Not much, but he's got to keep it on the lane without a disastrous shot. And he'll let this go. Yanked it, and he somehow got 8 out of it.
Got 8. That's a winner.
Yes, it is. So that'll win that match for him. But look at the 2 and 3 bowlers and what they're shooting for Catholic. That's a remarkable finish. And that's how you win a match, when you bowl like that on your low pit with the lower average bowlers that bowl huge games for the Bears to get it done in demonstrative fashion. Holy Cross won at 4. Holy Cross is going to win at 5.
Tight.
6 is tight.
It's tight at 6, but again, I think
pins. The pins.
Yeah, that total pin swing, because Catholic won the left pit by 101 pins.
101 pins, yeah.
And they led by 44 going in. Holy Cross is not going to make up 140 pins on the other side. So Catholic with 2 wins, is that right on the left side?
Yes, they had 2 wins.
Yeah, so they basically clinched the match with that. The 2 wins and the total pins guarantees them 14 at this point, because they're going to win, and really they're probably going to win total pins for the game as well. So even if Holy Cross wins the point here, it's a 4-4 game. You're looking at a 16-11 Catholic win if they can win this And you got a split over there for Catholic's number 6, so it's a chance here for Lanning to close this out and win this game at 6.
To make it tighter. So Rummel has defeated East Ascension. We'll get you the final numbers. Brother Martin has defeated Dutchtown, and it looks like Catholic is defeating Holy Cross. So it would be 2 wins for the New Orleans area teams, 1 for the Baton Rouge area team in the feature matches. But there's other matches,
there's other matches
going on today. And you can read all about it at CrescentCitySports.com
we'll have
later on this evening.
A full rundown of everything that has happened here.
Watching Holy Cross finish up, trying to win the 6th match. And leaving a 8-pin. Needs to fill this one, and he does. So needs a 5 count here to win that match in the 11th frame for Holy Cross.
Basically stay behind the foul line here. Crazier things have happened, but
sure. Well, we saw a few guys slipping on the pair in front of us. So you never say never. Always understand that anything's possible. Lets it go. Middle of the lane should be fine.
There you go. He's fine.
And he wins it with an 8 count. So
171-167. That's a win for Holy Cross. But again, Catholic wins the match 16-11. Holy Cross had a slight edge in total pins on the left side, but Catholic
dominated the low pair.
Yeah, got it done. Well, they dominated the low pair in the final game. So Brother Martin shoots 36-67. That's a season high for them. Their right side shot 2009.
Well, I'm looking at Rummel's scores. Rummel had 4 600s, a 555, and a 591.
1750. They shot 30. They might have shot 36-68 as well. Might be the same total.
Yeah, very similar to Brother Martin's total here.
36. Looks like 36-68 perhaps. I'm trying to. Is that 1759 at the bottom there? I believe it is. And 1809 on the left side. So. 1909, I should say, on the left side, which would be 36-68.
Rummel's low pitch struggled in game 2, but boy, they came back in game 3. Of course, Smith was a big part of that.
No doubt about it.
So that's a good team. They've got a good shot. Impressive win for Catholic to beat Holy Cross. Remember, Holy Cross has a win over Brother Martin this year, so that's a really good win for Catholic. Brother Martin solid. Preston West showing what he's all about. Best bowler out here. Shot 729, but he wasn't the best today because Blake Hebert shot 751 with a remarkable performance.
Yeah, let's see. That's actually 748 because he bowled his first game on the left side. Shot
that's
191
right.
Before he moved
748,
up. 748, but still, that is that's strong. And that's outstanding effort. And look, we mentioned, you make that transition, you have to move from one pair to the other and do what he did. That makes it all the more impressive, what he was able to accomplish. Before we go, Ken, we need to remind you today's coverage on Crescent City Sports brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. Lamarck Ford, the #1 Ford dealer in the Metro New Orleans market, must be a reason. You see the final scores?
Rummel 20.5 to 6.5 over East Ascension. A really good performance by the Raiders, who stay unbeaten. Brother Martin beating Dutchtown 18-9. And Catholic with a big power points win. The Bears defeating Holy Cross in the closest match we had, 60-11. So that's a big power points win for the Bears to get that win over Holy Cross here this evening. So pretty good stuff. You can read all about it at CrescentCitySports.com, including recaps of the other matches that we could not feature here today. So we certainly hope that you'll have a chance to do that as we cover bowling all the time at Crescent City Sports. Lenny, it's been fun.
It has been. It's been. We thought we'd see some high scores today, and we saw exactly that.
We did indeed. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, we want to thank everyone for joining us. Our live streaming coverage on Crescent City Sports continues through May, so visit our website for the latest broadcast schedule for our Crescent City Sports production team. And for Lenny Van Gilder, Ken Trahan saying thank you for joining us and be a good sport. God bless you one and all. Rounding third and heading home from Kenner. So long.